I was actually gonna ask what was like one of the most bizarre scenes you've ever like filmed.
Most bizarre. Some of the dialogue I have to say sometimes is goofy. I was just going through my demo reel the other day and we had to watch some of the new scenes and decide what I liked. So there's a scene where I just saw Ben kissing Maggie. Oh no, Ben kissing Karen. That's the scene where I walk in on them, their spikes are glowing, and so Maggie comes outside and she finds me, and I'm all upset. And my line is something ridiculous, like I walked in the room, I saw them hugging, and their spikes were glowing, but I'm all upset, so I'm like, I walked in the room, and I saw them hugging, and their spikes were glowing. And it was just absolutely ridiculous out of context. So that was kind of silly, but as far as a good story while shooting, at the finale of last year, when we're on that big barge, and we're floating around the ocean, and we're shooting up at the beamers, and we're about to shoot the big ray thing at the Ishfini Tower and bring it down. We're literally out there in the middle of Vancouver in their like docking area. So there's all these huge cargo ships coming by from all over the world, and I have this big dual-mounted machine gun that I shoot, the one that's usually on top of the Hummer, and it's on the barge. And when it shoots, there's a fireball that comes out that's about that far, and it's dual mounted, and it's just going off, looking like a real gun. So we're not thinking about it. We're shooting. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. And the director wants me to shoot this way, and then he's over here, and he wants me to swing the gun this direction and continue shooting because he wants that movement in the shot. So I do it, and I'm not thinking, nor would I have changed it because I'd have done this intentionally if I'd have thought of it. But it was unintentional. So when I swing it over to the right, there's a huge barge that just came in from China right over here. And all these guys are on the side like looking out, trying to figure out what in the world I'm doing shooting. But I swing it over right towards them, and every one of these guys hits the deck. And I don't blame them, but it was hilarious to see how. Yeah, like, I think the Canadians have guns. They're shooting at us. Yeah. Then another good one was after the Evil Howl episode. The whole Mason family gets on their horses and they take off and ride off into the distance, get out of town because we're not too loved at that moment. So I have all the background all the way around us, and I've never ridden a horse. The second time I was ever on a horse, they have a camera on me. They gave me 1 day of training. So I'm on the horse, but I like to think I can do anything. So I've been riding this thing for a while, and all's good. His name is Utah, and he is a surly old horse. He's just always has a bad attitude. He bites the other horses' butts. They have like scars on their butts from where my horse has bitten them. He will stomp your foot if you get it close enough. He'll just crush your foot.
Badass horse.
He is, man. He is. But the cool thing was that he never wanted to do what was supposed to be done. But when I would get him to do what he was supposed to do, I felt like, that's right. I just conquered my horse. That's right. I know what I'm doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so the horses are smart. They know that on action the scene starts. It's a wild thing to watch. They know exactly where to go. And the first time or two you have to kind of steer them the direction, but after 2 takes they know exactly where to go. So when they hear action, they get all excited. And when they hear ready, which is right before action usually, you can tell they get a little nervous. It's funny to see how they actually get nervous. But not my horse. My horse is like, that's right, it's better to be action, watch what I do. So I have to walk around the back of my horse, and me being me, I want to make it cool as possible. So I have my gun, I have Zelda in my right hand, and I'm going to hold the horn here, put my foot in the stirrup, swing my foot over, and all with one hand holding another gun. So I'm thinking it's going to look cool. Well, old Utah here knows I'm about to do it. And I put my foot in the stirrup, I go to swing up, and he takes 2 big steps backwards, so I land on his neck. And now I'm on Utah's neck, and we got all the extras around everywhere, and I'm slowly just kind of sliding on the other side, and now I'm hanging, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to let go. So I let go, I land on the ground, and now I'm trying to play it off like it's cool. Like, I'm not hurt, I'm good, I'm just going to kick it down here for a little bit. It's all good. But all the extras are kind of like yelling something, but I'm not listening to what they're saying because it hasn't processed yet. And they're like, oh, well, get out. And I was like, I'm fine, everything's good. And they said, no, he just peed about a minute ago. Sure enough, I was in a full-on puddle. I had to wear that pee all day. Those are probably 2 of my better stories. Something. Sweating from bad places. Yes.
Has the show gone beyond your expectations?
adaptations? Are you really happy with it?
Yeah, definitely. With this being my first show ever as one of the main characters, I wasn't expecting anything. I can remember the first flight I was on, heading to shoot the pilot, and Moon Bloodgood, who plays Dr. Glass, was sitting next to me. We didn't know each other from Adam, and now we're stuck on a 5-6 hour plane flight together, so we were trying to make small talk. And she'd been on a couple of shows, and I'm all excited. I'm like, oh man, I've made it. We're on a TV show. This is going to be awesome. She was like, yeah, I've been on like 3. They all got canceled and blah. She said, don't get your hopes up. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that could happen. So the fact that we're shooting the 4th season, it's wild. I love the fact that the show does really well, but it's not one of these that does 22 or 24 episodes and you're only known as that. I can very easily do other roles. Well, I say very easily, but I don't book them. But I could very easily do them. I'm really good at getting real close. One of these days, maybe it'll happen. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast doing it. Yes.
How was your very first day on set?
My very first day on set. Well, kind of similar to the horse riding story. I'd never ridden a dirt bike before in my whole life. Coming from Alabama, that's a shame. I don't know how I never got on one, but I had. So I got 2 days of dirt bike training. So I didn't even pretend like I knew what I was doing then. I didn't, because there was the clutch situation and the balance, and it was me and Karen who didn't know how to ride one either. So when she would start, I would kill mine, or when I would start, she would kill hers. So we were just a horrible duo on these things. And we're trying to drive around, and the first day, there's probably 200 extras just all over the place, doing all kinds of different things. I've got to ride up in the scene, stop on a stop mark, which is only 20 feet away from where I start. And starting and stopping are the hardest things when you first start. So about the time I get my balance, now I got to start slowing down and stop, and then deliver my line, and then drive off. So I got to do 2 starts, 1 stop. I'm all worried about that. I'm not even thinking about the line anymore. Like, surely that'll come out, hopefully. But they've given me this clear path to make it right to where I've got to go. I was like, all right, good, I got this. I can go straight, especially if it's wide. It looks wide. Well, then they decided it looked a little too contrived, and they needed some stuff in there. So what do? They go off and they get a big bucket, and they turn it upside down, and they put it down. I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, I can get around that. And they bring this woman over, and they stand her next to it, and I was like, okay, well, she can move at least, and she'll see it coming. She's old enough. Well, then, this woman with her little kid carries her out there. Mom's not an extra, but the kid is. Takes the kid, puts it on top of this little bucket, and now this kid's just sitting there going, oh, okay, here we go. Having no idea that I'm about to drive my dirt bike right around her. And I could have very easily run her over at that point, because I didn't know what I was doing. Somehow, I missed her every take, and all went well. But that might not have been the first day. That was one of the